Hello and welcome to the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you live a happier, healthier, and stronger life. Building a life that you love starts with you owning your health and intentionally creating the best version of yourself. So if you're looking to better understand how proper nutrition, daily movement, mindset work, and strength training can help you create a life full of happiness and health, then you are in the right place. I generally hope that the tips, tricks, and information that we share will be the catalyst for change. I'm your host, Adam Lane. It's time to dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast. I'm your host, Adam Lane. With me today from the Wellness Refinery, this is Stacey Colar.
Hello.
How are you?
I am wonderful.
I said miss, but you're Mrs.
I am.
Your lucky husband.
For 100,000 years.
Yes.
It's nuts.
Yes.
I can't even, I'm only 5. How can I be married for 100,000 years?
It's weird. It's weird how that is.
I am so excited to be here.
Stacey, this is exciting. Our paths have crossed. We have some mutual friends.
Yes.
Who have recommended, my wife and I to you. You own and run the Wellness Refinery in Roscoe.
I do.
For the tens of people that listen to the show who might not know who you are and why you're such a big deal, tell our people who you are and why you're such a big deal.
I don't know that I'm a big deal. I appreciate that. But who I am, so I'm a functional provider, primary care functional provider. I am a nurse practitioner, board certified. So my classification is a FNP-BC. So what does that mean? Family nurse practitioner, board certified. A lot of initials for whatever.
Yes. The more initials, the better, really.
A, B, C, D, E, F,
yes.
G,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So my career started a long time ago as a floor nurse at what was the Rockford Hospital back on, Rockton Road, and was a lot of fun.
Okay.
A lot of fun. I was a med-surg nurse for forever, it seems, had an amazing time, amazing mentors and such. And then I blossomed into a different field of practice where I went back to school, got my nurse practitioner, got my master's and such, and then also started working with hospice and palliative, what was Heartland, and had an amazing adventure there. Okay. Love being a part of that intimate process. Okay. Then I really got tired of medications. Band-Aids, pharmaceuticals and such. There is a place for them. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely know and I understand their role in our world. But sometimes I think that we forget that there's a problem that needs to be addressed. That root cause, right? Yeah. So then I went back to school again and started with my training in functional medicine. I was hired by an amazing doctor, Stephen Nitz, who is big deal in town. Yeah. IMA, and I worked with him, and he really helped me come full circle with my functional practice. So we went our separate ways. In a good way. And I built my own business, and I've been in Roscoe with Wellness Refinery for a little over 2 years now, working on our third year.
Oh, wow.
Yep. We're coming into our third year. And we specialize in obviously a functional based practice. So root cause. I'm annoying. I'm just annoying at trying to find out why. I can't stand it. Mm-hmm. I am that little 4-year-old kid that asks why at everything. Yeah. People can't stand it. But it helps people to have the education as to why they're maybe even on a medication. Yeah. And how do they get off of it, or how do they prevent getting on a med? Yeah. I'm kind of like in the same business you are. You're health and fitness, and people come to you to be better. And the root cause here is move your butt. Yeah. Get in here, move your butt. Yeah. So for me, the root cause is identifying the fail or the problem. But anyways, I love it. We do just about everything there. Hormones, peptides. We do weight management. We do thyroid, chronic condition, mold, Lyme, heavy metals, that kind of thing. What you would expect a functional practice to, kind of perform. Yeah. So it's an amazing journey, and I love to walk it with as many people as I can. Yeah. So
I think it's interesting because I think both of our professions dial back, 70 years didn't exist.
Agreed.
Like, this wasn't a thing. Like, there'd be no need for what either one of us do.
Right.
because
look at what the changes are. Right?
That's the thing. Yeah.
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 And was it really not there though? It was different, right?
It was different.
Your physicians weren't, your medical centers were focused on probably a lesser expensive approach because of what the world was made up of that time. And where did we have a fast food joint on the end of every corner?
We did not.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, I talked to my folks and they're like, how do you drive down the road and not get, whiplash from looking at all these different places to eat? I get it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But and back then, 7 years ago, they were doing sports as just for fun and not for, anything else. Yeah. So agreed.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. And now because of the world we live in, there are gyms like ours that do things. Thank
the Lord.
People like you that and again, I think it's interesting because if you're able to find the root cause, and I think too much of the time, and there's some medicine stuff, big pharma stuff that's very, very good.
Absolutely.
But it's really easy just to be like, this hurts. We'll take this thing to prevent that thing.
Yep.
But often then something else will pop up and something else will pop up. And we never actually took care of the root cause.
Right.
And so, you keep having that issue. And so you do the detective work of
the fun work.
That was my magnifying glass. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah.
That was very good.
To get under the hood.
Props.
What do we really do? Maybe our video guy can just insert them in there. But like, I think that's I think people, because it frustrates me when people chalk it up to like, this is who they are. I have bad knees. Like, what do you mean? You're 42. Like, what do you mean? I have bad knees. Like, what? You're halfway through life right now. Like you're going to do the next 42 years and have bad knees, or are you going to do something about said bad knees?
Exactly.
Now, yes. Are there some people with some random, genetic stuff? Yes, there could be.
There's always conditions.
Yes.
There's always issues.
But most people, I think we can get through things, or, heal things up or
well, our bodies are meant to heal themselves. Yeah. I mean, that's how we were created. Yeah. We are our best approach to health and wellness is us. Yeah. If we let our body heal itself with a little bit of assistance, then what's better? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know I want to talk about immune stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind derailing for a second.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because my wife is hitting, she'll love this.
Oh my gosh.
Some premenopausal stuff.
Do that to her.
Well, and you work with a lot of, people in this realm.
Menopause.
Just because it just came to mind. How women change as they get older. I just want to talk about the females right now.
Are you sure? Wait a minute. Are you qualified to discuss this,
I am not.
Mister?
Not at all. Not at all. Then we can talk about the guys too. But
no.
But you work a lot with the women, and I think we train a lot of these women. And,
I'm a woman,
and you are. Yep,
I am.
Are.
I'm a woman,
and it's interesting because they're doing a lot of the right things.
Yes.
But then things change as they get older. What do you see with a lot of these women, 40s into 50s, this menopausal time?
I would like to say that menopause, pre-peri, crazy broken periods, and just truncal weight and all that stuff is all very structured. I mean, you're going to go through menopause. This is what you're going to have. Yeah. I mean, I would love to say that everybody is the same when it comes to these stupid symptoms. And I say stupid because daggone it. Yeah. It's not fun.
They don't look like fun.
I've done that, and fortunately I'm beyond it, but I'm also I'm taking care of myself. So symptoms for the menopausal world, or let's say the early onset even, you're looking at silly things that just frustrate the dickens out of you. Obviously weight gain, and it's usually in the truncal area, and it's subtle. It's like you wake up one day, you were 30, and then all of a sudden you're 42, 43, 44, 45, and you've got an extra 10 pounds of a tire, and you're wondering, I haven't changed my life. Yeah. What happened? Well, hormones happened. Libido. Let's talk about that. That's a hot subject. Man, I could really go crazy with libido. Let's face it. You're in a relationship, whatever that relationship looks like for that particular person, your partner, and you love them, we hope, or maybe one day you
most
don't.
Of the time.
A lot of times, more like thing. And then it's gone. That desire to have that intimate relationship. It's not your fault. You got to understand, it is not our fault. No. We can't help it, you guys. We can't help it.
Yes.
It goes away. It stops. And then you have fatigue. Yeah. Oh my God, the fatigue that we feel. And then the brain fog. And then the mood swings. Now, you guys thought we were nuts when we had our periods and they were regular. Dude, menopause is like a constant, I'm crazy and I don't know why I'm raging, but I don't even like myself. It isn't that I just don't like you or my partner or my life or whatever. I don't like what's happening because you can identify why did I react that way? I mean, ask my husband or don't, because we would never get off this podcast. He would have so much stuff to say.
I got a list.
Oh Lord. But you know what? I think every woman is different. We go through hot flashes, night sweats, raging hormones, up and down emotional structures that is crazy for us. And then we look for help. We look for help in our conventional medicine world. And this is a personal experience. I'm not going to say everybody is like this. When I went in, when I was having my hormonal die off, I was told that, yes, this is normal. This is normal. This is to be expected. You got to work through it. And let me put you on an antidepressant.
Oh,
an antidepressant.
Yeah.
I want to be normal, not numb.
Yeah.
And I want to like my husband again, not ever want to do anything with him again. Yeah. But, sometimes that's all we have. And sometimes it does help for those people who don't have the other end of the spectrum. Yeah. But yeah, hormones wreak havoc. And I love, and this is funny, and there's people out there that are going to just hate this, but I love that they call it menopause. Menopause. If we were to break that word down, we
don't have to.
Pause. It really does. It really speaks
We're
volume.
We're pause on the men right now.
So I'm like going, it should just be lifopause. Yeah. Because our whole world, for some people, not every woman goes through traumatic changes during menopause, but for a lot of us, it's a lifopause because we are experiencing such things that I'm like, why is this happening? Yeah. And I know your beautiful wife. I know her. And, it is, you basically are going, what the heck? Yeah. Why is this? A lot of women, they come in there like, why do I feel this way? And how is it that I didn't know this is what was happening and I could fix it this way naturally, and yeah, hormones are a big deal. And I got to tell you, dudes go through it too. My males that I see, and even friends and family and such like that I talk to that I don't care for, there are things that happen. Yeah. Brain fog. Man, that's a big one for guys. Yeah. And it's subtle. Yeah. It's really subtle. And then all of a sudden they're like going, daggone it. When did I start using sticky notes? Yeah. Or how is it that I don't remember? I mean, my husband's famous for this, and I can say this, Craig. He forgets the stories. That may be because he's him, but he forgets that we talked about things, and that may be selective memory. You guys have that. But yeah. And then there's also, you guys have fatigue. Yeah. A lot of fatigue. It used to be you could blow and go all the time. Yep. And now you work your 10, 12 hours or whatever it may be. And you come home and it's like, I'm falling out. Yeah. So there's a lifopause for us females. And then there truly is a menopause for you guys too. And it presents in multiple ways, but there is hope. Yeah. Right? Yes. There is some mega hope out there, man. Yeah. And you feel, I don't know. How young do you feel?
See, that's a hard question right there.
Well, given on a good day, how young do you feel inside and out?
Yeah.
Do you feel like your 20s?
I was going to say 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I'm on, it feels good.
I agree with you. I'm in my 30s, man.
That fatigue thing that you mentioned is interesting because I will the training that I do is, I follow a plan, I get after it, and it just, there are certain things where, a lot of it is, I don't want to say choose your own adventure, but like be smart in the way of, hey, if you're feeling it, push another set or two, get a little extra hypertrophy work, blah, 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 blah. And I've always been a volume guy, and been like, hey, like I can handle it. I like the endurance piece. So a little extra volume never was an issue with me. And now it's like, I did the volume, and then 3 days later, I'm like, oh my gosh, why do I feel? And it's just, that's been the biggest difference. I still have the strength, still like that stuff is fine. But the recovery crushes me. And to your point, I think Heather, the same, like it's interesting. We just have to be smarter with, how we attack things. And I don't want to say lowered my standard, but like, it used to be more is better and better is more. And it's not. It's
Agreed. Just well, we change. We're not 20.
We're not.
And man, working out 6 days a week and pushing it to the limit every single time. I mean, is that conducive to our age? Yeah. But not only to our age, but we do age, people. Yeah. We age. Our body ages. Things start to shift. We can't always be 20. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know. I wouldn't want to. Yeah. I want to age, but I want to age gracefully, and I want to age healthily. Yeah. Whatever that word is. Yeah. Because if I can still wrestle with my kids, my grandbabies, then, and I can still shoot hoops and play football without breaking a hip, daggone, I'm going to do it. Yeah. I mean, my mom and dad are 78 years old, and the big rage, obviously has been pickleball, but they've been playing pickleball since it started. Wow. That's their thing. Yeah. And they play all the time, and they dance, and
where do they live?
They live in Mexico. They retired to Mexico. Yeah. They couldn't afford the waterfronts up here in the States, and they fell in love with a small little town in Mexico, and they've been there for eons.
I don't know anybody who retired to Mexico. That's fantastic. I want to retire to Mexico.
Me too,
that
man.
Sounds awesome.
Me too. I told them, I says, move over. I'm moving in. Yeah. They've been there full time for over 20 years.
Holy cow.
Yeah. They were both very lucky. They did back in the day when you had pensions and such like that. They both retired 50.
Okay. Oh,
and
wow.
They're
doing retirement well.
They are. They did good planning. Yeah. Good planning. But we, back in those days, I mean, when I was younger, you didn't really have the opportunity to live beyond your means. Yeah. Which we all do now, right? We live all way beyond our means. And so they did really well with just being happy with what they had. Yeah. Credit cards weren't a thing. Yeah. You didn't have credit cards. You know, maybe a Sears card back in the day when Sears was around for your appliances, but that's about it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think you hit it on the nail when you said that you still have to push, but the level of pushing is different. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I think that's part of it. And I'll tell you, that's with hormones too. Yeah. One thing that people need to understand in this environment, in this amazing gym, is when you're lifting, doing your resistant training, your strength training, you're improving your uptake of your hormones. Yeah. That testosterone component is huge. Now, granted, it's not like, it's not like you're walking out looking like, Arnold Schwarzenegger and, the Hulk, if people know the Hulk. But
the original Hulk,
let's be clear. Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes. Not the new AI.
I don't know that AI guy. Yeah. The original one, Lou Ferrigno. Yeah. Lou. Come on. Do people know him?
Lou was a little bit strong.
Yeah. He was massive, dude. And remember when Arnie was really rocked? Yeah. So, man, we are really aging. I am so old, dude. Yes. So old. But remember that testosterone, that uptake, that desire, the brain and the muscles talk to each other, and they're like, hey, we need more of this. Yeah. Let's uptake. And I think that people forget that, we're not talking heavy duty strength training. Yeah. You're talking like dumbbell work, right? Yeah. Push-ups, resistant training, so listening to your body is one thing, but moving your body is another. Yeah. So,
it blows my mind, and this is terrible, but I when we have consults with people and they tell us when the last time they worked out was, like, it's really scary to me. Like, I don't know how you could, like, just from, I think if I don't work out from a stress management standpoint, I will probably kill one of my children. And,
he's kidding.
And I'm most of the time.
I understand.
But yeah, like, I don't know how people do it and not, I think that's one of the biggest benefits from the whole exercise piece. Yeah.
The stress that you can, I mean, the release of those wonderful, happy, those endorphins, you know, and then you're also around an environment where, I mean, these are like-minded people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, where do you get like-minded people in our world today, man?
Yeah.
I mean, is it even right?
Yeah.
Because now, you know, with everything going on, you can have like-minded people. And if you do, it's like you're in a gang or something.
Yes.
Like, you walk into a gym, yeah, man, it's a gang. Yeah. We're all like-minded. We're here for a reason.
Yeah.
We're here to improve our health, release some stress, to maybe improve upon our body, make ourselves feel better.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Yeah, I agree with you. So I'm like a plank person. I love plank. I have bad back, so I can only do so much, you know. So I love plank.
Stop it. No bad back.
No, I know. I got a thing. But anyways, my planks are like my happy place. Yeah. And isn't it weird that we all find something? Yeah. Like, what's your favorite exercise? If you had to do one thing, man,
stop that.
You're a guy, okay, a well-built man. What would be, if you had to pick one thing that like puts you over the edge? Like, oh man, I'm going to hit the bench, or I'm going to do leg press, or I got to do the squat, or I'm going to do it.
It's a back squat.
Is it? Oh yeah. That's a good thing, man. Yeah. That's a good thing. So for me, it's plank, not weights. It's just plank. And how long can I wait? And how long can I hold it? And how many different styles of plank can I do? Because for me, you know, getting the obliques, you know, getting that V for a woman my age is like, that was like my biggest accomplishment. Yeah. Isn't that weird? That's so sad. Yeah. It wasn't my master's degree or anything. It was my obliques.
But that means that you're doing the right things.
Yes.
You're living a healthy life. Like that's, you know,
occasionally
you know, to have that, the blood work is probably on point. To have that, the blood pressure is on point. To have that, the nutrition is on point. To have that, the strength training is on point. Like, so that, I mean, I think it's a neat little indicator of all the other good things going on.
I think people, and they don't have to do that. I'm just saying that, you know, find one thing. Yeah. A little thing. A little thing. If it's walking, find your steps. Yeah. I mean, when I do my weight management program, people, I'm fairly strict, and I'm kind of I can be a pickle. I mean, I can be an aggressive dill pickle with my patients because I don't want them, for one, to yo-yo, right? Yeah. I don't want them to yo-yo, and I want them to make a lifestyle change. So I support them in that. Yep. And there's accountability for both of us, right? Just like you, there's accountability in your gym. Yep. And it goes both ways. Yeah. And I think a team effort is better than a single entity. Yeah. Right. So I think finding a small goal and having that achieved and building another goal is the way to do it. So mine was always, I wanted obliques. Yeah. When I got them, then it was getting rid of that little, I mean, I can't believe these kids, they come up with the darndest words. A fupa. Yeah. You know, seriously, people, it's just belly fat. Okay. It's a low belly fat. So it's that right there. And so that was my next goal. I really wanted to tighten that up. And it's very hard for women. Yeah. You know, it's very hard because we've had babies. And even if we haven't, we have hormonal weight. Yeah. We have there's a genetic component there. And that's my next big thing, is to tighten that up and to really focus on that. But it's small goals, right? It's small goals. And I think then we have less failure, and we have less, I don't know. We just don't get down on ourselves as fast when we have minuscule goals. Yeah. But I know people that have mega goals, and I'm thinking, great, go for it, man. Yeah. I can't do it. Yeah. Here, I want to. Yeah, I'm dialing back. Well, and then I want to come to this. So my notebook, because you said the phrase probably 8 minutes ago, something, but there's hope. Timer? And there is at the bottom. It has freeze catchers? No. It just your your brain works that good? Well, no, you said something, and I just put it in there. What is it? And then so you said, when we're talking about the menopause thing and the hormones all over the place, for the guys and the girls,
but you said, but there's hope,
Yes.
you know, as opposed to just, hey, take this antidepressant and, you know, and go. And this is where your professionalism comes in with people. What often is done within, because you said you do hormones and and that, I'll be honest with you, before we connected, I didn't really understand what that meant.
Okay.
What does that mean? So
hormones. So being a functional based provider, I strive to work as much natural as possible, which you know. Now there's a lot of things out there and everybody is different and there's all sorts of accessible things. There's more of a synthetic component. There's more of a natural component. I'm not going to speak to the synthetic because that's not my realm and I'm going to stay in my lane. But there's a lot of stuff out there. There's things out there that people can utilize. My thing is hormone replacement therapy. So bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, BHRT, comes in a couple of different applications. My goal is to find what the hormone structure needs. In females, you've got 3 different hormones that you're focusing on: your progesterone, your estradiol, that estrogen component, and the testosterone. Okay. Yes, women, we have testosterone, and boy, do we like it. Yeah. Okay. Each one of these hormones have a goal. A goal in life. Progesterone is known for its calming and its restfulness. I wish that came in a spray bottle. Stop it. Joking. Oh my gosh. We are going to have a conversation, mister. So progesterone, Heather won't listen to this. Nicknamed the calming hormone. And then estradiol, which is just a mishmash of positive things. Estradiol can help with mental health. Sure. Estradiol also can help protect certain organs from cancer, these kind of things. And it always leads into the testosterone component, which then again is breast health, cardiovascular health, bone density, huge facet for bone density, pelvic floor, blood improvement, libido, these kind of things, strength, muscle recovery, muscle development, these kind of things. Yeah. So you look at these hormones for females specifically, and you do a fairly basic lab, or you can do a hair test or there's a lot of different testing that you can do. I lean more in different facets for that, but then you build upon that with replacement therapy. The type that I utilize is, again, natural. It's a plant-based product. It's either through a topical cream or an oral capsule for progesterone, always because of the way it affects the brain. Or you can do a hormone pellet, which is kind of fun because it's kind of a one and done thing. You do it for females. It's like once every 3 to 4 months, even 3 to 6 months, depending on the female. For males, it's once every 4 to 6 months, depending on the male. Either way, it is an application where there's an insertion of pellets into either the flank, where those love handles are not lovely, but insert it there, or the butt cheek. The topical cream is applied male or female, depending on what we're working with, again, daily, and kind of go from there. The goal is always to find their best life, their best self, right? So everybody's numbers are different. You know, I run really, really high in my hormone replacement therapy, but then again, on a personal note, I had a hysterectomy, so I have nothing. You know, if I don't get it, I don't have it. And you know, I can mess, I can play, you know, plus it's me, I've been doing it for a long time. But, you know, women who still have all their organs, or are still maybe having a broken period, or are still trying to work through their menopausal phases, they may only need a little bit of something. And it may be just a little bit of testosterone. It may be a little bit of progesterone to help with their sleep and their moods, these kind of things. Not everybody needs everything all the time at the same time. Men, they only get testosterone, and they can sometimes struggle with a little bit of hyperconversion from testosterone to estradiol. So they may need a little bit of an estrogen blocker, you know, to kind of calm that roll down. And Anastrozole, we are always on DIM, another supplement that is helping with the conversion and improving health of the hormones. But there's a lot to be said about these, because in my practice, and even when I worked with the other clinic, we saw males and females find themselves again. And I actually, within my first several months of being at my clinic in Roscoe, I had a husband and wife team come in, and the wife was really struggling. Man, it was rough to see, because I've been there. I know what she's going through, and I just want to hold her and say, look, we can make this better.
Yeah.
But the husband was there supporting her because he really didn't know who she was anymore. And that's a thing.
Yeah.
And so he would come, and we got her pelleted. She chose to do pellets, which was lovely. And within 3 months, I had some flowers delivered to me and a card. And the flowers came, and I was like, oh, this is nice. I thought maybe it was like a welcome or whatever. And
your
it was
husband was sending you flowers.
Yeah, no, that would never happen. But the card read, I just wanted to say thank you for giving me my girlfriend back. And it was from this husband. And you know what? It's weird. Yeah. It's really weird that something that little can help a marriage and or a relationship. Yeah. And I got to tell you that I don't think if I hadn't started hormones way back when, and this is after many, many years of struggling emotionally and physically and such. And I was a workout person. I thought I was doing right. I can't honestly say that I don't know where we would be with our relationship, my husband and I, because we struggled. And, you know, I did that whole crazy time frame. And now I know I couldn't do my business without him. It gives me mental strength. It gives me energy. And I know that I couldn't have gotten through COVID without it, because of we were actively treating patients. We were doing things, and the strength that I needed, even emotionally, because of the backlash we got was intense. And I could not have done it without my hormone structure being spot on. Yeah. And I make it spot on every time. Yeah. Because without it, what will we be? Yeah. You know, it's not written anywhere that we can't support ourselves as we go through different trials and tribulations with our health. Yeah. There's nothing saying that we can't fix ourselves. Good Lord. Yeah. You know, and the great thing about it is that it's bioidentical. What does that mean? It means that it actually mimics what our body produces. Yeah. I mean, hallelujah. Yeah. And it's plants. Yeah. Okay. It's plant-based. So vegans can do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not like a beef capsule. Yeah. It's yams. Yeah. So that comes in yams, or it comes in a soy base. I use the yam ones, and there's no chemical component tied to it. So it's clean. Yeah. And, you know, either you put it on every day with a topical approach with gel or cream, or you do a pellet. Yeah. I mean, you tell me. Yeah. How's it work?
Yeah. I always think it's interesting. Like what is that first domino for people to like get going? And some people will be like, hey, I need to make some changes. And they're able to walk into the kitchen and be like, hey, we're getting rid of these foods and we're cooking these things, and they're off to the races.
I love it.
Me, myself, like for me, it's mostly the gym piece. Like if I'm working out, then I sleep well. If I sleep well, I eat well. If I eat well, my, stress level is good. Circle of life. We're all good. I do think, and this is where I think you're fantastic with this. Even if people find that first domino changes, especially as people get older, and it's different, and not that it's impossible, but like if your hormones are balanced and they're where they should be, now you go to tackle some training. Now you go, into the kitchen, and now everything is just more efficient for you. Oh yeah. And not looking for a cheat code. Don't get some cool hormone therapy and then hit McDonald's every other day. That's not going to help your cause.
Lord, don't ever hit McDonald's.
And and just like, I don't have to work out. I went to Stacy. Like,
nope, that's not the way it works.
It's not the way it works. So like that's where I think what you do is super cool. Cause sometimes it's like you need some outside help of things. And
and it's nice to work with a provider in any field that has walked your journey. Yeah. I mean, gadzooks, if you think about it, you go in and you see your gynies and such like that, and you're telling them your story, and half the time they're 20 years younger than you, or they're a dude. You know, I mean, I'm going to tell them.
God bless the guys that want that job.
I love them. I mean, I know some amazing gynecologists, I think, and then they're males. And I actually can tell you that they have an intimate relationship with how, and because of their years of experience, what a woman is going through, which is lovely because they're open to communication. Yeah. I mean, but I'll tell you again too, you know, if you're talking to and I love our younger medical professionals because they come with new thoughts. Yeah. I mean, they come with new thoughts. It's awesome. But a lot of times they don't have the knowledge of, you know, a woman who's just really struggling. Yeah. Not even, they have the knowledge of the anatomical and the path of the process. But to have a woman just break out and cry during a Hallmark commercial, I mean, granted, I did that before hormones, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, I can't. I mean, there's times when I'll be driving down the road and before my hormones, and sometimes even afterwards, where I was like, why am I sad again? You know, or the weather. Yeah. Let's face it. We talked about this. Yeah. Yep. You know, we were saying that we love the snow because it reflects the sun and everything's brighter. Man alive. But it is weird. Sometimes you just need to look outside yourself. Yeah. And you're right. I'll tell all my patients that are doing hormone replacement. Well, I tell all my patients, period. They have to move their butt. Yeah. I mean, literally, they have to move their butt. If they're going to have pellets in their butt cheek, they better be popping a squat and doing some light lunges or whatever they
planking.
Planking.
There we go.
You know, but I also tell them that, you know, this will help them improve for long term. Yeah. And hormones, healthy eating. I love that you brought up the kitchen because, man, how many times have you walked in the kitchen and you look through the cupboard and you're like, man, this ain't good. Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard to just do one component. You have to kind of make it more of a rainbow where you got a little bit of each color going on at the time. Yeah. So, but yeah, agreed. Yeah. Agreed. I love it.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's, I don't know and we'll plug you here at the end, and which is not the goal, but like I think when like we it's funny when we first opened the gym, I was 32, my wife was 32. We worked with a lot of people about our age, and I could do anything at 32. Like we were, oh my gosh, fantastic. And now at 45, our people are now 40s, 50s, and everything's a little bit different for them. And people who have been insanely consistent with us, like, have seen, you know, themselves kind of plateau in some different things. And, you know, it's a line too, where like, we're not chasing PRs. Like you're 52 years old. We're not, you know, PR'd my back squat. Nobody cares. Like we just want you to squat. So let's just start with that.
Just do the process.
Yes. Yeah. Versus try, but like we see people that, and they, you know, and they do a similar workout that they did, you know, a few years back, and it destroys them. And you know, the recovery piece that we were talking about earlier and stuff like that. And some of this is natural, but some of this, you know, can be helped, and absolutely, you know, yada,
well,
yada.
You're right though. We talked about this earlier. And you know, it's funny you were saying about recovery and then also the whole exercise component. My program has completely changed. Yeah. You know, I don't do what I used to do, and I'm okay with it. Yeah. You know, I still get my goals. I mean, I look at people working out, or I see my patients. Some of my patients come in and they're built like a brick, and it's awesome. But, you know, I know that's not where I'm at. Yeah. I am strictly in it for, you know, longevity, to maintain and to build upon where I can, and to reach my intimate goals. Yeah. And I think a lot of times, and that's why I like your setup so much, is because you have individuals working out, not competing with another. Mm-hmm. You have people in groups that are all like-minded. And we talked about that too. Being surrounded by like-minded people it helps us to focus. Now, I'm very competitive. I'm crazy competitive. So for me, if I'm not competing with somebody in the group privately, I'm competing with myself. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm pushing myself because I have another step to go. Yeah. You know, you always climb up, but I don't have to. Yeah. You know, I can do what I want. I mean, some days I just walk. Yeah. Some days I'll just do my plank. You know, but it is absolutely up to you. You just got to do something. Yeah. just do something, a little thing, start small and build from there.
Yeah.
And make sure that you're doing it properly.
Yeah.
Technique is everything for people over, well, any age.
Yes.
I mean, because you work with kids. You know, you're training high schoolers and younger, and technique is everything for them.
Everything.
Because of injury.
Yep.
And that's a little scary, you know? So yeah, technique for us that are aging gracefully is important.
Is a big deal. Yeah.
It is.
That's why I've very much gone against again, when I was 32, I could do anything, but like when we're racing fitness and we're trying to let's get it done as quickly as we can.
Yes.
That's where
injuries,
there's, and there's so much good work with like time under tension and why do we have to rush these 10 reps? Why don't we do them excessively well, Well,
isn't that called something? Isn't there? I'm going to look that up. There's that slow motion. I mean, let's branch out. So Tai Chi, that is one of the best mental and physical exercises because of its concentration on the muscle group at hand. And you can look up the stats on different country health, right? Yeah. And Tai Chi is huge. Yeah. So why wouldn't it make sense to move the muscle group slower with a weight if you're doing resistant training? Why wouldn't you do that? You actually can watch the muscle move, focusing all your energy. If you're doing a curl on your bicep, if you're doing a tricep extension on your tricep, if you're doing plank, well, if you can breathe, you're deep breathing and you're concentrating on the core, right? Yeah. And so if we get in there and we do, boom, 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 risk is huge. Yeah.
Especially in this group that we're talking about, this 40s, 50s and stuff like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I see people working out sometimes and I'm like, I don't know how productive that's going to be, but it is what it is.
And the tricky thing is, but they feel it. Like they feel like we just did something. You get done and there's, oh, look what I did. And what did you? You sweated. Sweating's good.
Sweating's great.
And we're breathing hard. Breathing hard is good. However, if your back is sore the next day, not good sore, like bad sore, that's an issue. Hey, if your shoulder's sore the next day, not good sore, bad sore, that's an issue. And so that's where I just think there's that nice middle ground. Because again, slow motion, or that taking time on that tempo training, eccentric training, really, really good. There are times where you can, you can go quicker. I'm trying to, at this point in my life, stay with some more athletic training. So you ever walk down the stairs and miscount the steps and then that last step I don't want to blow an Achilles. So I
don't want to break a hip.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, come on.
That
stinks.
It stinks.
I don't want to have to worry about that, but that is so true. You're right. You see all sorts of different things out there and, it works for whomever and whatever, but we are talking about a specific group. And, I see people, I treat people that are just incredibly healthy and built, and I know their routine has evolved. They maintain, they're not doing the powerlifting like they used to and such like that, but they're still able to maintain the muscle growth and the muscle look that they so strive to accomplish. And so if you can take a very fit and physically adapt person with this environment, and you can take that person and they have evolved, why can't we who are not that look evolve into our own protocol? I wouldn't. There was a day then probably I would do more powerlifting, but man, not for very long. Yeah. Not for very long.
Yeah.
Women are different.
Yeah. Well, I always think it's funny that I think we have a blinder to something. Like I feel good with the heavy training. I like the heavy training. I know right now that, weakness being, and I did the cardiovascular triathlon thing for such a long time that I think it burnt me out a little bit. So for me to do, intervals on the bike, and just blow it out and, and get that heart pump, that's a weakness for me. Hey,
I think that's fun.
Adam's mobility, stretch, in the way of squat mobility and stuff like that, that piece is fine. In the way of other, I don't want to say yoga, but like I'm lacking in some things. So I always think it's interesting. Like if you can be reflective on yourself and be like, I'm really good at this, but I'm terrible at this, to have the willpower to be like, that's what I need to work on. Cause that's probably your lowest hanging fruit.
Well, I think that's with anything, right?
Yeah.
If we can identify our not so strong point.
Yeah.
I hate word weakness, but our not so strong point, or the one area that we probably need to work on harder.
Yep.
Like for me, it's business stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I'm a clinician. You know, I want to just be with people.
Yeah.
I want to work with people. I don't want to do all the paperwork. That's why I got people do that for me. I can't stand it. But I identify that and I learned a hard lesson, you know, with that. I do the same thing in my life. And that's one thing my patients, fortunately, majority of my patients are very open and honest. And I love that. And you probably see that too here. Yeah. You people come in and they tell you, you know, I won't do that, Stace. I just won't do it. I go, okay, let's find something close to that you can do. Yeah. You know, and let's build up. And before you know it, you probably will be doing that and you'll probably like it. Yeah. You know, people tell me, I hate exercise. I hate it. I go, well, let's see what we can find that will work for you. My older generation, my morbidly obese patients, you know, it's not always healthy for them to start right off into some crazy program. And I wouldn't do that anyways. And you wouldn't either. Yeah. But band work, chair work can be beneficial for your older generation, for safety, for people who are recovering from maybe people with osteoporosis, these kind of things that still benefit from strength training. Yeah. But we all have to identify with our own, I don't want to do that. I don't do well at it. You know, I don't do well at it. Yeah. So let's find something that's close to it. Yeah. And then work on that.
I do think I lose patience a little bit here.
No.
Especially on the nutrition front, where, you know, we'll make some recommendations or some things and, you know, and somebody will come out and say, well, yeah, I just don't like vegetables. And I'm like, are you 4?
How is that?
Are you 4 years old? Because I can't have a conversation with you. You can't, that's where I think there's some, well, I don't really like sweating. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Sally. You got
sweating. Let's talk about sweating. Why is sweating so important for us? Yeah. We detoxify during sweating. I don't care if granted, remember, well, you were a wrestler, right?
No,
but you treat your kids wrestle. I'm sorry.
I was a very subpar basketball player.
Either way, but you have
picked the wrong winter sport.
You know the wrestling realm, right? So what did kids do back in the day? Maybe even now, I don't know. I've been so removed. What do they do to drop weight, to make
plastic suits, your saunas,
your little rubber suits, right? So,
which I think are technically illegal now.
They are. But back in the day, I was a mat rat, which you probably don't know what that is. Yeah. I was a mat rat and loved it. And it wasn't just to meet boys. Okay.
That's what I wasn't going to say anything.
I was just that person, you know, it wasn't to wrestle. Okay. But anyways, I always wanted to wrestle. Yeah. I mean, seriously.
Girls wrestling's
I know. It's crazy.
Bella's in the gym right now working out.
I love it.
She's somewhere there.
I love it. But my thing is when it comes to sweating, so I hear people say, well, I don't really like to sweat. And I go, let's talk about sweating. Why is sweating? Yeah. It isn't about, you know, okay, you're dirty and stinky and stuff like that. Yeah. It's about your detoxifying. Yeah. You are shedding. Yeah. I mean, gadzooks. Okay. If you don't want to work out and sweat, then figure out another way. Yeah. Because like the sauna, you know, sit in the sauna and sweat. Go for a long walk, a hiking walk where you've got your extra layers on safely, obviously. Stay hydrated. Yep. But those are things that are like huge. The vegetable thing is hilarious. Yeah. You are so right. People tell me all the time, oh, I don't eat fish. And I go, okay, then find something else that is similar. Or I don't care. Maybe try new fish. Yeah.
You would have been a terrible Eskimo. Like, how
do you even function?
If you were born in Alaska, what would you do?
What would you eat? You know,
sorry, guys.
You know, that's their bread and butter is salmon. But yeah,
I feel the same thing with kids' nutrition too.
Look at what our world is. Well, look at what they're exposed to in the public school systems. Yeah. I mean, fortunately, I hope that things are going to change. But I don't hold my breath for a lot of things. But I think it comes from home, right? I think that if we can instill in our children at a very early age that, you know, a rainbow on your plate is your best and make it fun. right? Because you don't have to have jelly bellies to make a rainbow. They do work, but you don't want them.
Yeah.
You need to find those fun fruits and vegetables and those meats. And I think that goes right into what we're dealing with on a regular basis here of late.
Yeah.
Post-COVID, we've got these stupid viruses that are running rampant, and people are.
It's a beautiful transition, by the way. Finally, we got to this.
I was thinking of food. I'm sorry. I was thinking of food. And
no, that was good.
My first thing that ever I think about with food is what it does for our immune system. And if we could just skip the fast food place. Pack your lunch. And if you can't pack your lunch, then pick a salad.
See, in 2025, we call it food prepping. But yes, pack your lunch was our day. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Pack your lunch.
Whatever. Meal prep, food prep. You know what? You're right. They don't pack lunches. They meal prep.
Yeah.
Huh.
But that's funny, isn't it? It's
I'm
literally
old.
Back in the day, we pack your lunch.
You know, it's funny.
Were you sack lunch or you hot lunch? I was always sack lunch.
I was too. I did get to do, and I'm going to tell you, I just saw a friend of mine post on Facebook the other day, and I got to send him a message. So back in the day when I was younger, our foods were very different, just so you know. Not that they were wicked healthy, but they were definitely different.
Yeah.
But there was one source of food that if I had to save money, or if mom and dad gave me money for hot lunch, it would be this one day. Okay. And that was Friday pizza.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't even think it was really a pizza.
It was not.
Remember, it was rectangular.
Yes, I do.
And you never got choices. It was always sausage.
Yes.
So you got this weird sausage and this weird cheese that really wasn't mozzarella. It was kind of a cross between something.
Yes. A hybrid cheese, if you will.
It was. And the crust was always a little sketchy.
Yes.
But
with some grain, with some cardboard mixed in.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And the grease. Yeah. The grease was so good. But man, that was frightening. Yeah. That was frightening.
Yeah. Those big sheet pans that they
and they would come out and they'd come out in these rectangles. And that was the one my sister and brother are the same, and we would that would be our one hot lunch. Yeah. That would be it. Otherwise we're packing or meal prepping. We would pack a lunch. So but you know what? Even then, even though we had that one lunch, the rest of our meals were pretty daggone solid, man. Yeah. That was, and I'm not ancient, you guys. I'm not ancient. So, but we ate differently. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Organic wasn't a thing. Yeah. It was just farm fresh. Yeah. And gluten wasn't a thing. It just was wheat, and untouched. Yeah. We've evolved in so many ways that are great. And then there's things that you just got to go, huh? Yeah. I'm amazed with Crystal Bulldog, who I still need to introduce you to. She raves about Woodman's and just the options that are there. Yes. And so we living up in Rockton, I don't make it whatever down to anywho, because we do most of our stuff at Aldi, and if you can't get it at Aldi, we don't buy it. Yeah, we do too. But then there are things where they do pretty okay on their organic stuff at Aldi. But it's not perfect. Anyway, we went to Woodman's the other day, and they had organic oranges. And we have non-organic oranges in the refrigerator right now, and they're too. They're kind of blah, and they're not. When you open up the orange, it's a little whitey, and it's not a. So I'm like, we're gonna get a bag of organic oranges. We're gonna compare. I cannot tell you how good. Orange. I had orange this morning. So I'm orange free. So I'm excited. It was fantastic. It was the best orange. I can't. So did you go to the one in Beloit? No. Or did you want to? But I need to. I need to figure out how far that is. It's right down the road from our house, right? Because we both live in Rockton. Yes. And it's. But you have to you do got to go. Got to go down through town a little bit. But I got to figure out which one's closer. Quinn School is right by the other one, so I don't have much of an excuse. Yeah, that's easy with the gym being down here and stuff like that. But no, I was amazed. Just the, because you know, well, that's like eggs. Egg. I was going to say, yes. Mm-hmm. That is crazy. Yes, that is crazy. Yeah. And I'm still kind of shocked about the whole egg thing, but that is mega. Yeah. Orange versus pale yellow. Yeah. Yeah, it was. Are they food coloring it, man? It's crazy. Blown away. Yeah, blown away with it. I've gotten eggs at and they're pricey, but they're called Happy Eggs at Woodman's, and they're on the box. It says raised on
8 acres of open blah, 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 which blows my mind to think of.
Happy eggs? Are these like the $42 eggs? Or, yeah, right?
Close to it.
Give me a break.
Is the thing. But like you crack them. They're just, and it's funny because we've gotten, eggs from friends and whatnot.
We used to get farm eggs.
These eggs are, these chickens are running around and blah, blah, blah. But the same breath, it's kind of hard because you can have them run around, but you can't have them run around that much because you got to keep them safe from the predators.
And not by you.
Those stinking foxes are
hungry.
Are tough. And so these, I don't know, whatever. These eggs are the most orange eggs I've ever seen in my entire life.
How do they taste?
So they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're great. It freaked out my youngest. Quint's looking at it. He's like, Dad, why are these orange? I'm like, these what eggs should look like. Yeah.
This is what we're supposed to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. It is really crazy. I think that it's just so weird because even organic, we have to wonder, is it really organic?
Yeah.
Because they say, with the groundwater being what it is and the toxins and such. But man, that's a whole nother podcast. Yeah. It's scary. Yeah. We live in a crazy, crazy world. Yeah. So. But
we should do a part 2. Hey, listeners, I hate to do this to you. We're going to stop the podcast right there. Stacy and I jammed for another almost hour here. And so there's so much good content here. We're going to split this into 2 podcasts. So this was part 1. Thanks for listening to part 1. Part 2 will come out here in the next few weeks. She was fantastic. Wealth of knowledge. If you are interested in checking her out more, check out. She's not big on social media, but go to wellnessrefineryclinic.com. That's where all of her stuff is. She's absolutely fantastic. Part 2 is coming where we will talk more about immune system health and keeping people healthy during these 6 seasons. I know we're kind of getting to the end of the 6th season where we're getting out, but like, man, to keep yourself healthy year round. So we don't hit these like 2 or 3 blocks where people just get sick and it's absolutely brutal. So no, she's fantastic. Check her out at wellnessrefineryclinic.com. We'll see you soon. That's all we have for you today. If you have any questions or want to chat or interested in seeing what we're up to in between episodes, head over to Instagram and Facebook and follow @OakStrength. Also check us out at oakstrength.com. If you like this episode, please share it with someone who wants to live happy, healthy, and strong. If you really liked it, subscribe and review the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast on iTunes or Spotify. Be sure to tune back in next week and remember to keep owning your health.